Listen. B.
You will hear a radio interview with an EQ consultant, Frederick Patrick. Listen and find out what EQ is.
Good evening and welcome to This Hour. Tonight I have with me one of the country's top EQ consultants, Frederick Patrick. Welcome, Frederick.
Good evening.
Now, what exactly is EQ? It has something to do with IQ, am I right?
In a way, yes. We all know that IQ is a measurement of a person's intelligence that is calculated from the results of special tests. And for many years, people used to think that if someone had a high IQ, they would be more successful.
And that's not the case?
Absolutely not. It turns out that EQ, or emotional intelligence, is a much better way to measure whether a person will enjoy success or not. Most EQ consultants agree that 80% of one's success depends on EQ and 20% on IQ. In fact, studies show that the most successful business people in the world today all have very high levels of EQ.
That's very interesting. But could you give us a clearer picture of what EQ is?
Let me give you an example. You make the perfect sandwich for lunch and you leave it in the refrigerator at work. At lunchtime, you're really hungry. You go to the kitchen and find Bob from accounting, eating your sandwich. What would you do?
I'd be very angry. I'd probably make him wear the sandwich and then…
There you go. What's happening is your emotions are controlling your actions. You're not thinking properly because you're very angry.
You're right. I suppose people with a high EQ wouldn't get angry like that.
No, they would be angry, but they would understand this emotion and be able to control it. We mustn't forget that any decision we make, whether big or small, is affected by our emotions. It's how we control our emotions when making decisions that determines our EQ.
I see. So it's not really how clever you are, but how you deal with your emotions.
Exactly. At my workshops, I explain to people that first they need to understand their emotions, then try to control them. The final stage is to use them to improve performance.
So is EQ something you can learn?
You can say that. We are born with a certain level of EQ, but it changes throughout our lives depending on different experiences we have, which affect our emotional states. Having said that, it's certainly possible to become more aware of your own EQ.
It's definitely worth looking into. Let me ask you about something else now.